Hey, good Friday afternoon. Thanks for joining us today. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the work week. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox, and we have a rainy weekend ahead, okay? So we've got rain and snow moving into both the plains and out to the west, and then we've got those storms farther into the southeast. Now, the storms are probably what you want to see here. We're talking about storms in Texas tonight and severe weather continuing down to the southeast by Saturday night into Sunday. One of the biggest risks here will be that large hail risk, okay? Not for everyone, but a few of us, especially if these storms could get organized, will see some large hail. I think that will be the biggest risk. We've got a low risk for wind and an even lower risk for tornadoes as well. Rain and snow and wind and just about any type of weather that you can think will also continue into next week. So we have a very active pattern setting up in front of us. So we are not done with all of this activity quite yet. We will actually continue to see that as we head into the following week, into the middle of March. But hey, come to the Raising Hail Tour. We have one more city. If you're looking for a long-term forecast, not just talking about this week, next week. No, we're talking about the entire severe weather season. We have that for you at the Raising Hail Tour. So head over to raising-hail-tour.com. Our next stop is Orlando, Florida, next Tuesday. To save $10 on your ticket, that means you get a free lunch and a free t-shirt with this ticket. But to save $10 on that, use this code RHTTaylor10. That's RHTTaylor10. Alrighty, let's take a look at your storm reports from yesterday. Pretty quiet day yesterday. We saw all of that snow and rain across the northern portion of the U.S., tracking into the Midwest, but pretty dry out to the south and east. Actually, we're seeing some improved temperatures through the central and southern portion of the U.S. Look at all this warmer air coming in. So this is temperatures above average. We're about 10, 15 degrees above average. I walked outside this morning to walk my dog, and I could feel just how comfortable it was outside. I wish I was outside, maybe enjoying lunch on the patio this afternoon. Now, tomorrow, and I really want you to watch this line here, we're talking about warmer air down to the south, colder air pushing into the central and southern portion of the U.S. You can see this difference here where we go from colder than average to above average. Do you see that here? The temperature difference, we call this a gradient, often indicates that we're going to see some sort of active weather. What is that? Is that snow? Is that rain? Is that severe weather? In this case, it is severe weather, and we're watching right where those colors change, anywhere from Texas all the way out to Louisiana and Mississippi. That's where we're watching for that next round of severe weather. And then colder comes behind that. What is that? That's a cold front. You can see that starting to set up across Texas right now. So we have that cold front. We also have that risk of storms right here in the central portion of Texas, just to the west of Dallas. Other than that, we're watching for some snow across the Midwest, maybe a little bit of rain farther out to the west. I know some people really, really would like to see this rain because we've got some a fire concern down in New Mexico and in southwestern Texas, some really high winds out there as well. Current temperatures, holy moly, look how comfortable it is in Oklahoma City today. 71 in Oklahoma City, 74 in Dallas, but look at that big change farther back to the west. We're at 27 up in Denver, cold day in Denver, 56 in Kansas City, and we've got the 40s, 50s, and 60s the farther east that you go. There's that fire concern for today down in southwest Texas. Go up a little bit into the panhandle of Texas and into Oklahoma. That is where we have that winter weather setting up. Anywhere from Colorado to New Mexico and into the panhandle here, that is where we're expecting snow over the next 24 hours. Will that snow come any farther into Oklahoma? It's not looking terribly promising, but we could see maybe a little bit of snow into Saturday. Let's talk about your fire weather outlook here. Southwestern Texas into New Mexico, as I mentioned, both today and tomorrow. What about Saturday? Yeah, or Sunday. Sunday, still sticking around for Sunday and Monday here as well. Alrighty, wind gusts are high. That's going to contribute to the fire danger. Pretty dry out to the west, but it's not dry farther down to the south and east. Look at this, southeastern Texas here. We've got this moisture moving up from the Gulf. And as you know, especially if you've come to the Raising Hail Tour, we talk about the 4 different ingredients for severe thunderstorms. We talked about that heat. I showed you that difference from warm temperatures, warm air down to the south, colder moving in to Oklahoma and Texas. So we've got heat playing here. We've also got that moisture. You can see that right here coming up from the Gulf. Now we need a forcing. We talked about that cold front. There you go. There's your forcing. And now we need wind shear to get severe thunderstorm development or severe thunderstorms to look impressive. And I think that we have it. I was looking at photographs today, and our photographs were looking pretty impressive anywhere from central and then moving out to the south and eastern portion of the U.S. as we go into late Saturday. So let's break this down for you. What does that mean for you? What practically does this look like? Okay, here we are. Friday afternoon. Right now it's lunchtime. Pretty dry through your evening commute. You're good to get home. You're good actually to go to bed tonight. You're dry across most of Texas tonight. But it's through the overnight hours, it's while you're asleep, that we could start to see those storms form, isolated at first, becoming more scattered as we head into the early morning hours on Saturday morning. So you're asleep at this point, and you're hearing the rumble of thunder, the strike of lightning out your window. Should you be concerned about this? We do have a level 1 risk for strong storms, strong to severe storms today. What does that mean? A few of these, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 of these could go severe, and that severe risk will be for hail. Yes, that is going to be the biggest risk for today, will be that large hail. So what are we talking about here? We're talking up to golf ball sized hail, highlighted in this area in orange, a little bit smaller the farther you head back to the west into Abilene and up to the north into Wichita Falls. Still, we have this risk level as a low risk because the nature of these storms, the nature of this severe weather will be isolated severe storms here. Up to golf ball sized hail, not too bad. Again, it's while you are sleeping tonight into the overnight hours. By tomorrow morning, by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, a lot of that wet weather will be subsevere, non-severe, moving through Dallas. And maybe if you sleep in a little bit, maybe you miss this completely. Meanwhile, up to the north into Oklahoma, we are getting that snow and we're waking up with rain here in Oklahoma. It's not going to be severe, but it could cause a flooding issue across Oklahoma. Let's start that one more time. So here you are. If you're an early riser on Saturday morning, you're probably seeing the storms start to end in this area. Could we see a severe risk of storms in Dallas? I think that's possible. Probably a wind risk more than anything. I'm not terribly concerned about the hail risk in Dallas, but it's possible. I think that hail is going to be on the smaller side, if anything at all. Where do we expect that larger hail to be? I think it'll be farther down to the south, hugging the Gulf Coast. So let's see this play through here. Throughout the day, could we see storms? Yeah, it's possible. I think that we're going to have a better chance for severe storms into the late night and overnight hours. Once again, just like Friday night, Saturday night, we're going to see those storms overnight. You're asleep, you are waking up to a strike of lightning at your window, a rumble of thunder. You need to have multiple ways to get those severe alerts to your phone that could potentially wake you up, because with this risk, we do have a tornado risk that is associated with this. Again, the better chance for severe storms will be hugging the Gulf Coast here, anywhere from Houston along the southern side of Louisiana, southern side of Mississippi, and Alabama. Slowly but surely, this will track to the east. So it's been a rainy weekend in Dallas and East Texas, but it'll slowly track to the east, bringing all of that rain anywhere from Atlanta all the way down to Florida as we head into early Sunday morning. You're wrapping up the weekend here, and those storms are out to the east. We do have a severe risk on Sunday, but we'll talk about that here in just a minute. Now, what are we mentioning for that hail risk for Saturday? Again, this is mainly Saturday afternoon through the overnight hours, but it's possible in the afternoon. Let me say that one more time. The most likely timing is late in the day, but we cannot rule out a severe storm or two during daylight hours in the afternoon. I hope that makes sense. I know that timing is a little confusing here. Very low risk for a severe storm in Dallas. However, if we could get something organized I would say we're probably closer to this 1.25 inch sized hail, closer to Dallas, just because of the timing of these storms. I think that hail size will get a little bit larger, closer to that golf ball, maybe ping pong ball size hail as we head to the eastern side of Texas into the southern side of Louisiana. I would say anywhere between Lufkin all the way to New Orleans is a sweet spot for that larger hail. But Dallas, it's possible. It'll be in the early morning hours, most likely, in Dallas. So that's Saturday. What about your hail monitor, your significant hail model here? Here we go, Friday evening, staying to the west of Dallas. Saturday morning, moving off to the east, closer to Houston at this point. As I mentioned earlier, really hugging the Gulf Shore here. Moving off to the east as we get into Sunday. Saturday's max forecasted hail size, remember that area in between Lufkin and New Orleans? That's where I think we could see that larger hail up to golf ball or hen egg sized hail. It was right in between these two today. Which will it be? Which will it be? Of course, our Mets will be mapping it here at HailTrace. We'll make sure that you know exactly what falls in this area. What about the other threats here? We have a wind threat and a tornado threat, anywhere from Beaumont all the way to Alexandria, northern Louisiana here into Shreveport and Mobile, Alabama. So we go all the way through Louisiana, through southern Mississippi, into the overnight hours, into Alabama and the panhandle of Florida. So this is early Sunday morning over here, late Sunday night, late Saturday night over here. I think we go tornado forecast next. Maybe. You guys see me clicking this button. There we go. Okay, there's your tornado forecast for Saturday. It's a level 1. Still something that you want to keep your eye on, though. It's a low risk, highlighted there in green. We could see a spin-up tornado or two, especially if we could get something more organized. So these tornadoes will most likely be isolated in nature. We're not calling this a widespread outbreak. So there's your severe threat. Large hail, that's going to be your biggest threat here. High winds will be your next threat. And of course, that tornado threat is on the board. We have this unstable air moving in. Here you go. This is your forecasted instability. Forecast instability here. This really shows where that severe weather is most likely at. Now, it could be raining across this entire area, but which one of those storms actually goes severe? On Saturday afternoon, we're going to start in East Texas. Pretty low chance here, and then that risk is going to track to the east as we head into the overnight hours Saturday and into Sunday morning. Speaking of Sunday, I did mention that we do have a low risk, a level 1 risk highlighted here in green that goes for northern Florida and the southern side of Georgia. It's going to be a rainy Sunday, a rainy into the weekend out to the south and east side of the U.S., anywhere from the Carolinas down to Georgia, into Alabama, but eventually that will wrap up by Monday or Tuesday, early next week. But then, we're not done. We're not done yet. Then our attention turns to the west, where we have another chance for storms out to the west. Now, it's not storms yet. It's just a system, and I want to see if I can get to this here. Okay, I've got a graphic for this here in just a few minutes. We have another system coming in through the middle and end of next week into early next weekend. Now, the timing is unclear at this point, but the chance for severe weather and snow and high wind and heavy rain is there. Late next week into early next weekend. But we'll talk about that. Hang on one second. I do want to get through Sunday here. So Sunday, we have a level 1 risk highlighted here in green. I mentioned southern Georgia, northern Florida, isolated risk here. Okay, this is the graphic I was looking for. Here we are Friday. There's your severe storms Saturday and Sunday. There's your low pressure system tracking out to the east. Now we're looking off to the west. We've got another low pressure system coming through here. This is late next week, okay? This is Thursday and Friday of next week, March 13th and 14th. And then we have another round as we head into the weekend, March 15th and 16th. Look at this low pressure system here and that severe weather that could come along with it. Not only is this expected to bring severe weather down to this area once again, okay? Somewhere in the southern plains, southeastern side of the U.S. Not only are we expecting severe weather here, but we're expecting heavy rain into the southern side of the Midwest. And we could even see some snow coming in with this as well. Again, timing and exact location will be worked out over the next few days as we get more information with this model. But what we do know right now is we are in for an active weather pattern, not only from what we saw early this week, not only for what we're seeing both tonight and tomorrow, but all the way into the middle of March. We're talking about March 17th at this point. So we tell you that, not to make you concerned, but we tell you that so that you can stay prepared, so that you can have that storm shelter cleaned out and ready to go when you need it most. What do we say? Prepared, not scared. Let's talk temperatures here. A little bit more fun note here. 70s here in Oklahoma today. Absolutely gorgeous across a good portion of the south. Colder air moving in for Saturday. Again, rainy or snowy on Saturday across a good portion of the southern plains. We're talking Kansas, Oklahoma, into the panhandle of Texas, even out into New Mexico. They need that rain out there. Unfortunately, it's not coming in the right places, but nonetheless, we're getting some snow out here. We're getting some colder temperatures moving into most of the U.S. As we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, temperatures warm up a little bit. We're getting the 50s and 60s moving back in here by Tuesday and Wednesday. This is Wednesday morning, and we're waking up at 57. That's not bad at all. We actually continue this warmer trend as we head into the middle of March. So what did I say earlier that we need for severe weather? We need heat. And it looks like we have it. Not only are temperatures warming because it's that time of the year, temperatures warm up in March day by day by day on average, but we are also looking to be above average in those places. So this red area right here shows the likelihood to be above average for that temperature. And here's your moisture outlook. Above average out to the west for that moisture in, it's either snow or rain, in California all the way out to the west coast, and then on the East Coast as well. And there's your forecast. The main takeaways from that forecast, because I know that was a lot of information, is that we are expecting storms tonight into early tomorrow morning. We're talking about 3 to 5 o'clock, 3 to 5 a.m. on Saturday morning, just to the west of Dallas. Moving into Dallas as you wake up tomorrow morning, and then out to the south and east by Saturday afternoon into the evening hours, continuing out on the East Coast on Sunday. Another chance for storms by the middle to end of next week and into next weekend. A lot of information, but of course we'll break that down again for you on your forecast on Monday. Until then, head over to our Raising Hail Tour website to get your tickets for our Orlando show. Raising-hail-tour.com. Use code RHTTaylor10 for $10 off of that ticket. You also get a free t-shirt and a free lunch with that ticket. So if you like the forecast like this, make sure you head over to raising-hail-tour.com to get your forecast for the entire severe weather season. Also, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And if you're interested in a wind, hail, or tornado map, we'll be mapping those storms this weekend, and we'll have a map for you. Give us a call at 855-334-4245 or email us at info@hailtrace.com or head over to our website, hailtrace.com. All right, thanks for joining us on this Friday afternoon. We'll see you back here, same time, same place on Monday.